Ever feel like you're always starting over with AI? You've spent like 30 minutes explaining your health history or your exercise goals, and the very next day, often in the same chat, AI has total amnesia. It's so frustrating. Well, that just changed. Gemini has officially brought NotebookLM, my favorite AI tool, right into Gemini. For us, it means no more having to start over. Hi, I'm Chantal and welcome to AI for 50 Plus, born before Wi-Fi, owning AI. I'll walk you through 3 personal examples to show you 5 great updates that change everything. And I'll show you exactly how I use this to manage my health, fasting, and my fitness. These are the updates that finally integrate the power of NotebookLM into Gemini. The first example is the Personal Health Notebook, and that's for updates 1 to 3. And I came into NotebookLM, I did it the good old-fashioned way because you'll see now that because of the updates, you can do it differently in Gemini. I created a new notebook, and here it is here, and this is my notebook. Now, when I started, I put 3 PDFs, blood test, mammogram, and x-rays. And after that, what I did is I went within NotebookLM, I did fast research, and I asked basically 8 different questions. And one of them was, for example, I have a torn meniscus. Please let me know, based on the x-ray that you have in the sources, what are the exercises that I should avoid, and what are exercises that could actually help me? And it gave me 10 sources every time, so basically 80 sources. And you'll notice that I have 65 because I went and I checked all of them. Because if you want your notebook to be reliable, you need to make sure that those sources are credible. So I went and I eliminated between 1 and 3 sources for each of the questions, which leave me with 65 sources. Now, that's the good old-fashioned way of doing it. But now in Gemini, and that's update number 1, in Gemini, it is now integrated in the sidebar. So if you look here, we have the possibility of creating notebooks right into Gemini. And you also have all of your notebooks that you can call directly from Gemini as well. So these are all of my notebooks. And you'll see that the ones that I use more often are actually somehow pinned there. But you have them all here. So that's really great. So that's the deep integration part. The second one is the folder system. That's something that we've been asking from Gemini for months now. Because if you compare with ChatGPT and Claude, for example, they have their projects, which are their folders. But Gemini didn't have that. In the past, you could have gems if you created them, but you had that long list of chats. Now you have the notebooks, and the notebooks actually can act as folders. You actually have all of the information into one project. So let's test this. I'll call my health and test research notebook. So we're in the notebook. And just to show for the first update, the integration goes both ways. You'll see that I have 64 sources here. And if I go back into NotebookLM, I have 65. Why? Because all of the chats from Gemini are here as a source. Now, I have one chat because I chatted a lot within NotebookLM, and I did only one chat from Gemini. So you'll see that there's one chat there, and that's a source. So that way we make sure that NotebookLM's notebook has the same information as the notebook within Gemini. So that's deep integration as well. So I'm in my health and test research, and I've copied a short prompt here, and I will ask, what are my health superpowers? And I will see now, because I'm in the notebook, it will only go through the 64 sources there. And okay, here we go. Based on your specific laboratory results and provide research, you possess several metabolic and physiological superpowers, high level of cardiovascular fitness and metabolic resistance. Wow. Exceptional cardiovascular fitness, metabolic resilience and fasting efficiency, early detection and preservation. Whoa, that's really summary of the strengths. That's cool. You always feel good when you ask questions about medical and there's positives. It wasn't all as glowy when I asked, okay, so what are the top 5 things that I should check and be careful about? Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to get out of here, and I will show you a third update, which is chat continuity. So I'll go back to my health tests and research, and you'll notice that this question, the thread that I just asked, is here. And then the other thread that I mentioned, the health trend and doctor questions, actually appears here as well. So now all of your chats are in this notebook and will not appear in the chats, because in the past, what would happen is you would have a chat, and then of course over the next few days you would have new chats, and then your chat would disappear in that long list that you couldn't organize. Well, now, of course, because they're almost like folders, or they are, you have all of your chats there, so you can go from one chat to another and you don't lose anything. Example number 2 is my AI fasting coach. Now, I fast quite a bit, and sometimes I need protection from myself because I will tend to be a perfectionist and I have an all or nothing kind of personality. So if at some point I fall off the wagon because I decided to stop a fast early, I might go on a spiral of, well, then I'm not going to fast anymore for months type of thing, which I've done before. So I created Fast Track Max, which is one of my gems, actually. You see it here. But there are 2 notebooks that I use in Fast Track Max. There's Fast Track Max the Brain, which talks about what kind of support I need, what are my goals, who am I. And I also use my personality notebook so that it knows what are my tendencies. Update number 4 is actually now you can personalize not just through a gem, but each notebook. So if I go into the notebook itself and not the gem, I'll call Fast Track Max Brain. And if you go here on the 3 little dots, you can see that you have notebook settings now. And in the notebook settings here, put very small instructions, your max, my supportive but firm fasting and maintenance coach. You can do that now. So not only can notebooks be used actually as folders, you can actually give them different roles as well if you want to. It doesn't have to be just on one specific idea or issue. You can have different notebooks with different roles or personas. That's update number 4. Example number 3 is the personalized exercise plan. I am forever searching for the best plan that I could do in the least amount of time and that will actually work with my limitations and with my personality. And that's not easy. But now with update number 5, it's much easier because it's what I call the combined brain or the combined notebooks in Gemini, and that update is a bit older than the others, maybe a couple of weeks old. You can now call more than one notebook for the same question. Let me show you here. I'm actually in that chat, but I want to show you first how to get there. Now, if you go into the top here and you call all of your notebooks, you'll be able only to, if you click on one, you're going to only have one. So that's not the way to do it. You go into a regular chat, you click on the plus here, you go on NotebookLM at the bottom, and then you can click on as many notebooks as you want. And then you add it and it will start a chat. So that's miraculous. Even though it's a bit older as an update, it's so powerful that I really wanted to show it to you. I've prepared already one of them. So you'll see here that I have my health test and research notebook. I went at the bottom here and I called this one and the personality profile. And I asked a specific question based on the medical information in my first notebook and my personality profile in my personality one. What kind of weekly exercise approach would be safest, most effective, and especially realistic long term? Please include strength training and explain your reasoning simply. And then it's great because it gave me the summary and then the exercise strategy strength training 2 or 3 days a week, and it talks about my real issues here. Then the exercise, and what I love is there's the reasoning. Your personality profile shows high self-efficacy and self-discipline. You will likely excel at a prescribed set of movements. It gives the best chances for me to actually stick with this program instead of starting it for a week, going all out and burning out and not doing anything after. And then it talks about cardiovascular and psychological success factors, which I really love. Avoid the binary trap. Yeah, the all or nothing. With a strategy, I value self-direction. I don't like to be told what to do, so they tell me what strategy. And the fatigue, of course. If I'm tired, I will likely look for a reward and maybe not do exercises that day, so it gives me a strategy as well. And then the recommended weekly schedule. I think this is awesome, especially when you're looking at nutrition, fasting, exercise, anything around your health, really, longevity. It's great to have not only the health profile and maybe even a notebook on the best approaches for longevity or fasting, but also a notebook on personality, because then it actually gives you some recommendations that actually gives you a fighting chance of sticking with the program. These updates should be a strong incentive to start using Gemini with NotebookLM. Which of these features would you use first? Maybe the combining of notebooks for your health or a hobby? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.